Hello, beautiful souls. How are you guys doing? It's been a hot minute since I have been on here chatting with you guys, hanging out with you guys. I gave Instagram some love yesterday and did a live, and then now I'm here. So, super excited, super grateful. Today, I am going to be doing an energy update. This was not planned. I woke up this morning as a manifesting generator. I'm like, I'm just going to come on here and go whenever I feel aligned. And I feel aligned to chat with you guys right now. So today I'm going to go over a little bit about our full moon that's coming up on the 16th in Libra. And then I'm also going to talk about Neptune in conjunction, which is huge. And it was one of those things I didn't realize until I was like, oh, wow, okay. And I got really deep downloads that I want to share with you and how that's going to ripple for the rest of your week from the 13th to the 20th. Hey, Gail. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Bessie. If you're here, let me know. And if this is your first time tuning in, hello. I used to do these all the time. If anyone remembers the OGs of the family, if you remember when I used to do this at the beginning, when I first started YouTube, put in a little pink heart emoji down below because I used to do this all the time. And then now I'm like, I just kind of feel into it. Greetings, sis. Hello, UK. It is late where you are. So I hope that these messages transfer to your dreams as well. Hello, hello, Serenity. I love it. Wellness. So let's get started. For those, if this is your first time here, I'm Shika, your conscious mentor. I guide you through the moon, new moon, full moon, angel numbers, shadow work, healing, and allowing you to come into your truth and authenticity through the essence of healing. And I also am a medicine woman. So that's a little bit more about me. If this is your first time, if you are here, if you're in the recording or if you're live, if you guys can give that, that thumbs up at the bottom, it does help our community, like the people who are actually part of it, to see this video because sometimes YouTube just doesn't show it. And then people will say, I didn't see this until like 4 days after the full moon. So if you could just give it a thumbs up and then, just share anything that's coming up for you in the comments and put notification bells so you know when I go live intuitively in the future. It helps a lot. Hello, Marcia. Hello, Victoria. So let's go into the space. I want to open the space first. So calling in guides, angels, guardians, and archangels for coming into the space and ancestors as we guide for this deep reading and connecting with our source and our big divine, calling in all 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, allowing us to connect with all of the elements, earth, water, air, and fire, connecting us deeply within ourselves and Pachamama, the Father Sky, Aho, and all our relations. As we open this space, we connect with the Grandmother Moon, knowing what we have to allow ourselves to come through and what waters within is going to bring us a lot of clarity through this time. We thank you for being in this space, and I hope that all the messages that are meant to be channeled for the collective are here. Aho, Anye, Anyai. Okay, let us start. First time. Amazing. So let's start with Neptune in conjunction. I'm going to just share, again, if I'm speaking too fast, let me know because sometimes I am just channeling. I'm so grateful that you're here, Nevada as well. Everyone, all Aya, Victoria, all you loves, peace, love. I love you all. So Neptune in conjunction, basically, this is the thing with astrology. Okay. I love astrology. Since I was a little kid, I used to read a lot about it. And my mom would get so mad because that was the books that I would always choose at the bookstore. But I also understand that not everyone here is into the whole of astrology. So I like to explain things simple. I don't like to explain it all into houses and stuff because at the end of the day, not everyone's going to be able to digest that. So let's keep it nice and simple. Neptune is in conjunction. What does that mean? Neptune in conjunction means that we're working with the water element, and with that, with the Pisces energy as well. That is something that has not been done in over 166 years, which means that this is the first time in many years that we are getting this energy since yesterday, which is the 12th, the 11th, and the 13th. I would say would be continuing throughout the weekend. So the things that comes up is we're working with this water element where it's really clearing out some things to bring us luck. So a lot of you are going to start to feel like you're coming out of isolation, you're feeling more optimistic, you're feeling more energetic. You're out of that depressive, down energy that I don't know if anyone else has been feeling. Put a cloud emoji down below if you relate to this. But it was almost like it was just like one thing after another. And it's like, Spirit, can you give me a break? That's like the energy that we were having. So now with Neptune in conjunction with Jupiter, it is the perfect thing, which means that everything is in alignment. There's optimism in new beginnings, there's optimism in what we're manifesting, there's optimism in this new season. We're starting to see this like shift of our energy. We're feeling more aligned to stop procrastinating. You know, I want to go to the gym. I want to make new friends. I want to have a good relationship. Like you're coming out of your hibernation, almost like a bear energy, and you are ready. Okay. Except you're not masticated and like hungry. But what I mean is you're energetic, you're ready, you're seeing a new light of joy of life. So, one shadow work prompt that's coming up as I chat with you is like, what is something that has shifted optimistically in your situation in the past few days? And how is it rippling into the Libra full moon this April? Okay. So, like, it can be anything from like your luck. What's that luck that's coming into that space? And it's also kind of bringing this ruler of what I like to say is, and I'm just like looking at my notes as I share with you guys because there's so much downloads here. Individuality. So, what we're looking here is really looking at your full sun, your moon, and your rising. Okay. Does anyone know what their sun, moon, and rising is? If they don't, go to astrology.com. That is astro.com. Sorry. That's my favorite website I use because it's the most aligned one. Yes, I feel the energy has shifted the past week. Yeah, huge shift. Let me know what your I want to get to know my fam. What is your sun sign? What is your moon sign? And what is your rising sign? Curious. Mine is I'm a Scorpio sun. My moon is a Leo and my rising is a Capricorn. So that's an interesting little mix. Rising Capricorn too. Nice, nice. So attracting what you are is what you attract. Some Leo suns here. I love you all though. So that's the energy that's here. But all this to say is that ask yourself, how has your individuality of who you are through this past, I want to say 3 to 4 years. There's some other information I'm going to share, but 3 to 4 years, like really, how's your individuality been rediscovered? It's like we're falling in love with ourselves. It's almost this nostalgic feeling this past few days where it's like I'm coming home to myself and it feels so good. And the best way of explaining it is that if you're watching a movie, at the end of the movie, there's the couple and they're going long distance and they don't know when they're going to see each other again, but they know that their love is going to continue to keep them going. Twin flames, I'm talking to you here. And then all of a sudden, they leave the car, they show the montage of the plane leaving, and then the tears slowly rolling down. And then they feel this love, they feel this praise of love that's coming up, even though they hope and they're just like in full awe of willing to see this person again. So dramatic. But all this to say is that that's kind of the feeling we're getting with the Neptune in conjunction of Jupiter. It's like this individuality energy of like, nostalgic, like I'm here, like I have met a part of me that has been yearning to be shown to the world. And I feel free, I feel connected, I feel ready, and I feel almost like I'm back into my human body. Some of you guys have been a little bit of using escapism. You know who you are. I'm not going to point fingers, but I am. Some of you, the past few months, have been coming out of your body, really doing astro projections, working with the higher chakras because you don't want to stay here. And now it's like, I'm okay to be human. I'm safe to be human. I'm safe to live in this life form and in this experience. And I'm remembering why I'm here. Okay. Hello, welcome all the newbies. Put a rainbow emoji if you're new. A lot of Leo energy here. Whew. Cancer too, Virgo, Sag, Taurus, Scorpio. I'm seeing all of the signs, Aquarius, Aries. It's a good mix, good balance here. So that's kind of what to think about it. So, what can you do with this energy? This is a great time to redo your vision board. I still have the same vision board from last year. I need to update it. This is a great time to script. This is a great time to do tapping. This is a great time to do meditations. I have a morning meditation and a night affirmations meditation on my channel. So, if you go to meditations playlist, you'll check that out. This is deep. This is also, ooh, Amy, you're like one step ahead of me. Yep. Each night has been vivid dreams, but now I know I'm safe and I'm excited for what's to come. There's the other part of the conjunction that's happening here, where for those of you are kind of almost like releasing through your dreams. So I don't know about you, but it's almost like I feel like I'm doing work in my dreams more than ever. My vivid dreams are like a movie. It feels like it's a 2-hour movie that I'm experiencing, but at the end I just really get to know what I'm letting go, and in the morning I feel a lot more lighter. So this is a great time to just really allow yourself to be in that dream state. Really practicing your dreaming a little bit more, which means that be aware of what you're watching right before bed, because that's going to affect your dream. And right now, we're kind of getting some major upgrades for us to bring that luck into our next chapter of our life. Okay, remember, this doesn't have this only happens. When was the last time this happened? 166 years ago. So the fact that we've had so many eclipses, so many major moons in the past few years in a time where the world is rebirthing, if that doesn't tell you there's some huge shifts, I don't know what does. Okay, family. So remembering that is huge. Wait, so you're also be having vivid dreams. I've been having lucid dreams. I've been having lucid. I dreaming is huge for me. It always has. As a little youngling, my younger self used to go down the basement. My mom had this indigenous dream book that I would read all the time. And I would just read and look up, what does this mean? What does this bird mean? What does blah 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 mean? So for me, I've always been very connected with dreams. But all this to say is lucid or vivid dreams are coming in. Your dreams are getting more advanced because your being, your soul is starting to be activated to deeper dimensions. There are more dimensions being expanded and created as we speak, people. So even though our human doesn't make sense, we're getting access to deeper things, which brings me to the other thing. This is why this planet is so beautiful. It's creating optimism. It's allowing us to just release and not be so stressful about all the little things like, what does this angel number mean? What does this thing? Did I miss this? Did I do this? XYZ. Put less pressure on yourself. So we're being called, for some of you that are getting this boost of optimism, doesn't mean you have to exert your energy all the time. I was talking to a sister about this. I literally saw her and I was like, you're in your masculine love. You need to go into your feminine. So again, this is a time to really just be, just be, just be, and ask yourself, what are you upgrading for right now? Because Jupiter is here to help. It's here to help you in the ways that you don't even know. So, what ways do you want Jupiter to help you out? Okay. Another thing that's going to be coming and exposing that I looked in this space is that your fears, what you've been fearing without you knowing, and this has been happening to me as I upgrade, I'm noticing that the fears that I have or had is starting to become more apparent to me. So it's almost like I feel like the fear that I'm having about that extra upgrade, it's like spirit's like, don't worry about it because we have this optimism here. Okay. So if you have this fear of, where am I going to get the money to do this XYZ? Like optimism, Jupiter comes in. Oh, no problem. Let me help you. If you have this fear of how will this relationship work out, optimism. If you have this fear that your twin flame is probably with someone else and you want them to be with them and you're feeling this grief, they're like, don't worry, you get an opportunity to help yourself, love yourself, and things will work out. Remember, this is eternal love. So what I'm trying to say is that with every fear that is being arised and come in this point, there is this like ripple effect of Jupiter saying, don't worry. They're your best friend. Jupiter's like right now, Neptune in conjunction with Jupiter is like that best friend that has like, I'm going to probably going to share a little bit of this, but you know, when you have snacks at school, when you're a little youngling and your mom doesn't give you the best snacks that day, but then you have an OG friend that's like, no problem. I'm going to split my fruit roll up with you. I'm going to split my crackers with you. I'm going to split my pretzels with you, whatever that they have. And you are like, you are the best. You are my friend. You are the one. You are my OG. That's Jupiter in conjunction of Neptune. It's like, don't worry about it. You can have your carrots, but you can also have some of my pretzels. We got you. Like, that is literally what's happening right now, reading your messages. What intentions do I put into the moon water? So we'll talk a bit about that. And then later half of that, one step ahead of me. Oh my God, my fears are becoming more clear within the last couple days. Neptune in conjunction of Jupiter. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. My fears are also becoming more apparent, and I'm working on that. Yeah, it's just like right now, the veil is so thin that our individual. Oh, this is another thing. So when we talk about fears, what are the fears that your younger self right now is being triggered, that they were judged through their individuality? So whether you were bullied for certain things and you're realizing this is an optimistic opportunity, like what I was bullied for is now a gift I can give people, or what I like, that ex relationship that was horrible gave me the opportunity for me to understand what love is and to choose myself. So with every, shadow, it's like almost like they are giving you that duality comes up a lot with this conjunction. So yeah, transmuting, you're one step ahead of me. How are you transmuting that into that space so you can allow yourself to hit that next chapter? Loving it, loving it, loving it. So I was afraid of I felt when I speak up for myself. So as I connect with your voice, my throat there. So what that's telling me is that how can you use your voice and stop suppressing it? What were ways that your younger self felt afraid to use their voice? Then, Jupiter in conjunction of Neptune is like, we got you. It's okay. You are safe. We are here for you. So all this to say is the best thing to do for your healing this week before we hit into the full moon energy, which we're already approaching, is to really focus on how can I use this specific energy to move me out of my fears and into this luck and optimism that source, universe, spirit, my guides, my ancestors are literally like giving me on a silver plate. Okay. So really sit with that shadow work prompt tonight. Do your vision board, do your scripting, not just do it, but live it and breathe into it and be in that energy, okay? Focus on where are you channeling and transmuting this optimism to? I'm talking to all of you directly to your souls as I channel this. So, okay, we got into that. Let me just make sure I got into all the lists. Does anyone have any questions about anything I shared? Anything that's coming up for you that's resonating? Anything you just want to be like, hey, Shika, this is what I wanted to share? Anyone here that feels this, let me know. But I've also been feeling that. So that's kind of an idea in a non-astrology technical way, what Neptune in conjunction of Jupiter means and why it's such a significant time right now. Okay. Um, okay, so let's go into what was I going to say? Let's go into, I thought I left my notebook here, but I didn't. Um, we will answer questions after on anything else. I'll leave it at the end for Q&As, guys. But for now, let's go into, because I know a lot of you are going to ask about the moon and all that stuff. So I want to get into that. Okay, so we talked about Libra a little bit and what to expect with Libra. So if you guys haven't checked out my video on the top things to know, hey Elena, hello everyone. Top things to know about the Libra full moon on April 16th, 2022. Depending on where you are in the world, it's going to be different. Go check that out, that video. But in the meantime, I'm going to add a little bit more spices on that. So, one of the biggest patterns and themes that I've been seeing a lot, not only in myself, but also in my clients lately, is that we're almost at this point where we're just being really, really hard on ourselves, but we're also just avoidant of truth. So it's almost like why I talked about Neptune in conjunction of Jupiter was because we have this optimism to help us with what is going to happen with the Libra full moon. It is so perfectly divine timing. It is amazing. We're using this optimism right now to help us release and kind of have like a pre little test of like releasing all of the things we need to for, I'm hearing anxiety here. I'm hearing also fear, like all those things that are coming up for you. Now, when you go into Libra, we're talking about balance, right? Libras are great leaders. They love to please all of the people in the room to make sure everyone's comfortable. But with that comes a double edged sword. Sometimes we please people a little too much. We forget about toi, moi, yourself, right? So, what I mean by that is ask yourself, how are you pleasing certain things in your life? It could be people, it could be judgment, it could be the way that you want people to see you. Because the more that you feed that idealistic way that you want your family, your friends, the old people that knew you before to see you, whoever it is, that is just going to be unauthentic. That is not your truth. And it will catch up with you come the full moon. Then we talk about people pleasing. So a lot of us have gotten comfortable pleasing everyone but ourselves. And in this Libra full moon, it's all about 333 right there, angel number coming through, hit with that, allowing us to understand why we need to balance what is here. And the biggest thing that I'm sharing here is that people pleasing is the fear of us pleasing ourselves, satisfying ourselves. People pleasing is the fear that you were not allowed pleasure as a child. I had this conversation in my group healing that I did last week of some of the beautiful souls being transparent, saying, I was not allowed to move my body because it was considered bad. It was considered unacceptable in my household. So you were taught that I cannot please myself, allowing myself to be confident in my body and use my voice in singing. So instead, I allowed myself to satisfy whoever told me that. And as I went into my adult body as an inner child, I then just continued to please people because it was that much easier than having to deal with them and telling them no. Right? So it's like understanding a little bit more with this Libra. It's like you need to say your no. You need to say your yes. If you are saying yes to something and you can't say no equally, there's something off, right? There's something off. And I'm going to say this, it's going to hit some of you. I know some of you are saying you're crying, but I need to hear you because we're releasing together. Is knowing that if you're saying yes, that's not definite. If you're saying no, that's not definite. And in that way, you are voicing a lie to yourself and to every person who's connected to you. And that is exhausting. And maybe your younger self had to lie because no one actually believed you and you wanted to please other people. Maybe your younger self felt, ooh, okay, maybe I should just say this because that's what people will accept. And I was bullied in the past and blah, 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 blah. Maybe your younger self was one of those households where it was like, I tell you, and you reciprocate as such. And that's going into the great book, The Four Agreements, which I've been recommending over and over again all this month. So if you end up watching it, please do, or reading it, please do. Guess what card pulled out? I'm reading you Inner Child Healing. Yeah, it's really deep this week. And bringing optimism to your inner child. I want to share a little bit of love and light to this is that the beauty of this is that you get to go to your inner child, hold their hand and say, I'm here and we can go through this together. And even though that right now I'm in a different space than I was when I was with you, when we were in the time we were kicking it, well, guess what? I'm here for you now and I'm ready to hold that space. So the card that I got for you is There's No Place Like Home. So what this is telling me is that there is something in your life, whether that's people pleasing or some way outside of you, there's a distraction during this full moon that's really going to call you in to come back to home. Back to home. What did they say? Home is where the heart is. And the heart is where your inner child is. And the heart is also, and this is going to hit some of you hard because I know not everyone has a great relationship with family. Maybe that means that you need to bring some closure on some deep anger and some deep resentment towards family with the optimism that you've had. Look at where you're at right now. I want you to take a moment right now and really close your eyes with me as we talk and just listen to the medicine I'm going to share with you. Take some deep breaths in, and I want you to just notice where you are in your life in this present moment. The road that you've hit, the things that you've done, the people that you've met, the pain that you've like held for, the joy, the memories, everything, the good, the bad, the in between. And the fact that you are still here, allowing yourself to do this work, makes you a warrior, makes you this amazing, beautiful being. And with that, there is a younger self, a younger version of yourself that is wanting to join you on this venture. And you got to let them in. Because if you don't let them in, they can't flourish and you can't flourish with them. So remembering that the place coming back home is remembering to add everyone on that trip with you. You want to bring your shadow self, your light self, your higher self, your inner child, the all parts of you that's been seeking to be held and been loved. And remember, there's no place but where the heart is. And remember how much of a warrior you are and how much work you've done. And let's celebrate that together. Taking a deep breath in, exhale out. Deep breath in. Exhale out. And open your eyes. We got to remember that. I tell my mentorees all the time, if you do not allow yourself to have a moment of celebration, of excitement, of happiness, of all that you've created for yourself, then you're just constantly seeking to please, avoid, and avoid is an endless hole that will never stop falling into fixing, 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 fixing. There's some Virgos here. Fixing, 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 fixing. We can't perfect everything, but we can receive all. And we can choose what we don't want to receive too. But again, a lot of you have some optimism here, but you're not willing to receive it because you would rather focus on what you don't have and what is not for you. Then I'm like, come on, come on. We're not going to be fully satisfied, but we're living, we're breathing. Life is all things. We got to allow all of those things to come through. I'm 15 and I don't have a good relationship with my family, and I'm afraid it's going to have consequences when I'm older. Just know, Isabel, the more that you focus on your self-love, you are going to also ripple that beautiful energy into your family. And I know right now, because I've been there, my mom and we didn't have a relationship. My parents and I did not have a relationship very well for a while, and it was really hard. And one thing that I recognized was that I needed to keep doing my work, and then one day I would connect with my family more. I just got off the phone with my dad right before this and just checking in on him. And I remember being terrified of talking to him at some points. So just knowing that, you know, there is an opportunity to have a relationship. Oh my God, it's with my mom too. Yeah. In that people pleasing is coming up a lot when you even share that. And because it resonates and I see this, I recognize this because I've walked a similar path, not the same, a similar path. And knowing that, I spent a lot of my life pleasing my mom, and how are you or anyone that this resonates with? You're spending a lot of your life pleasing your mother, your sisters. I'm saying feminine because that is the mother wound, right? So we need to step away from that and stop pleasing them and trying to heal them, trying to save them. That's something that's coming up too. You cannot save anyone. You can't save your ex, your partner, your mom, your dad, your family. You can't save them. But what you can do is you can help yourself. And in doing that, that will ripple into their life. A lot of people are doing this shadow work and healing because they want to save someone, but really they want to save themselves. They want to heal themselves, but they don't want to say that because they want to say, oh, that's not for me. I don't want to receive that. But you need to do it for you first. So I hope that resonates, Isabel. I'm really happy that you shared that. This week I've been hearing allowance allowing ourselves to feel and be okay with whatever it is. Yes, 100%. And I'm working on that. The fact that you said I'm working on that really shows to me that you're recognizing that I'm here, but I'm going to continue the journey and also be gentle with myself. Right. So, yes, allowance and receiving, because a lot of us think we're open to receive love, happiness, money, clarity, freedom. But then when we tap into that, we just allow ourselves to be constantly just overwhelmed with all the chatter up here. So this Libra full moon's all about we got to balance also our truths, our authenticity, our humility, and our celebrations, all of that, but not running away when it gets a little uncomfortable too. So I'm really happy that shares. Learning to fill my own cup. Love that. Happy to hear that. I have boundaries now and I can't heal and save everyone 100%. You have boundaries and now it's time for you to disconnect the fact that you can heal everyone, right? Because when you create boundaries, you start to notice what's yours and what's others and how it affects you, right? That's the opportunity of boundaries. It's not only to help with your energy, but it's also to realize how much are you taking on that you're not supposed to, right? So, really great time during this Libra full moon to really balance our boundaries, balance our everyday routines and the way that we think and the words that we use. And there's a lot of water energy right now. So, one thing that's coming up during this week, oh, I'm going to sneeze. 1 second. Okay, that's done. One thing that's coming up this week is between the 13th and the 20th is a lot of people are being called to rest and reflect, right? So, and also I'm getting a lot of feelings that people are more emotional this week, and that's okay. So, for those who are getting more emotional, it's like you feel like you want to burst out and cry or whatnot, that is just you releasing so you can so you can be open to receive. Like I mentioned, you can receive that Jupiter in conjunction of Neptune, that luck, that opportunity, opportunist opportunities. New doors are opening for you in this space. And it might be a door that's so subtle, but then after the full moon, you're going to realize how big that moment was for you. Okay, let's finish up because I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna mute because I'm gonna have to blow my nose. Okay, we're back. Just don't want to blow my nose on here. So, I'm just reading your comments. It's my first time here and beautiful. Oh, welcome, welcome to the family. I have the last 2 years of forgiven my family members and then they came back and I feel no anger at all. And it's amazing. I have nothing to prove and I'm more myself than ever. Congratulations, Amy, from coming home to your soul. That's amazing. I hope that story inspires you as well. Soon as I set my boundaries, I lost my closest friends. But are they your closest friends though? Just saying, right? Maybe you connected with them because you and those friends that were close to you, you all didn't have boundaries. We are the people we spend the most time with are the people who mold us. They're the people who make us in a way who we are and how we see the world and how we see our consciousness and our being. So are they actually close or have you actually decided to choose yourself after all this time? And you're finally realizing, wow, okay, these people were not my friends. These people were there to fill a void. They were there to fill something that I wasn't ready to claim. And that's something I realized, but I'm also noticing quite deeply as well. And I don't know if it just froze. Did I freeze? Okay, we're back. I froze there. But what was I saying? So much energy. I think spirit was like, whoa, too much. But what I was saying is that we start to notice that the friends that we did have were actually not the friends that were meant for us. And I went through this so deeply. Energy vampires. Yes. Yes. And I actually am going to kind of quote something that came up. I'm inspired by Teal Swan with this, but then I'm changing it a little bit. So what she was saying is like one thing that I notice is if you guys are a teal swan, she's amazing. Um, when we are with our own energy and then there's an energy vampire beside us, what happens is we become their battery, essentially. And then eventually, when we become their battery, we become not no longer do they are they like a vampire, but we are now their energetic being. We're now equal to their match, right? So there is a shift from someone when we come from someone saying they're an energy vampire to actually building a relationship over that word energy vampire shifts. It's no longer an energy vampire. You have now accepted that boundary and you have now accepted that person. So again, the Libra full moon is really noticing like, okay, spirit's kind of doing its work, taking out some cords within you with the waters within you and saying, okay, what are some people in your life that you need to start to accept that there is hope to make new friends even when you do all this work. There is hope that you can create new relationships, right? So I think this is so crucial and important. And again, a lot of relationships are going to be a little bit of like another veil will be unraveled, and just remember that's important. Since I set boundaries, I have so much peace. I don't hold on my exes, amazing, just because we are on good terms. Once I was used to them, used up my friends, was gone, and it hurts, but I thank God. Yeah, 100%. So, one thing I will share is that, you know, that just makes a big shift. You've decided that I don't need that person just for companionship because I'm afraid of being alone. That's really what it comes down to, right? When we change and we shed a relationship, it's because something has shifted that there is an opportunity for us to have something deeper and better because we've realized that there's something deeper and there's something treasurable in ourselves and the things around us. And with that, we change our environment so deeply. So I think that's so important to consider. People, so true, 100%. People I was around with my energy rubbed off of me. Yeah. So again, that goes into they're not an energy vampire anymore. You have become their pals. You know, you guys are both now mirrors of each other, right? So that is the shift. The first step is we notice that someone is draining our energy. Then what do? We just stay around because of guilt. We stay around because of there's a wound there that is being ignited. But that is a choice if we want to stay there or we want to keep going. So that you have to choose that space. Whew, deep, deep, deep messages. The guilt is starting to fade away now, and that I'm creating boundaries. People, my dad, my mom, and grandmother, amazing. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so much to share. I feel like that's it that I wanted to share, but what I will do is I'm going to pull out one more card and then we're going to do a Q&A. Experienced a relationship where he was an energy vampire and I had a cord cutting and released him immediately once I realized it. Yep. Everything is free will, right? I have a lot of people who come to me, even clients, and they'll say, my ex from this time, they're still just wanting me to be with them. It's because you have allowed that to happen. You are now allowing that choice from a vampire. You've become an identity with them. They're not a vampire. They're not considered as affecting your energy anymore. You have now created an identity with this person. I realize that people please, and now I'm trying to find myself. I feel behind because I don't know what is of me and what is others' desire for me. Any advice that you have? So people pleasing, trying to find myself. We can't find ourselves by understanding what we're pleasing others for, right? So the first thing is just realizing like what are we pleasing people for? Like what is the why do we please people? The second thing is understanding, do we please that within ourselves? And if so, where is that guilt in our body, and working with that chakra, working with that space in our body, because the body always remembers. So I think that's huge. New sub, welcome. Amazing. Okay, anything else? Okay, so we have a question here. If I blocked an energy vampire narcissist, can they still receive my energy? Want to hear a story? So, for people who think that they can just block their ex and be like, no, they're out of my life, okay? That's not how it works. What Spirit's going to do is they're going to bring another person that is going to replicate that narcissist person. So, with this Libra full moon, it's interesting that these things are coming up, but it's all about understanding with our relationships is what is the lesson that this narcissistic person is teaching you about yourself? How are you choosing to do that? And then we do the core cutting and then we do the healing. But if we just run away, we block someone and we do everything that is the human, the matrix version of just like blocking someone off their social media, blocking their phone number, deleting their text messages, that pain and whatever that they've done to you is still there. So you're just like a walking magnet for the next person, the next narcissistic to come up to you and have a home to stay. And I'm saying this, it might be triggering you, but I'm literally saying this because I see this a lot, and even in myself, I used to do that. I remember going through a lot of narcissistic relationships, wondering why. Like, why am I constantly getting that same narcissistic person? Because I haven't actually healed that within myself. I'm running away from it. I'm not actually doing it. There's a difference between doing the work, learning the lesson, and then blocking the ex, as opposed to just blocking them and thinking, oh, I'm free. This is good. But in the energetics, in the other dimensions, it's still remembered. It's still here. As I say this, there's an alarm outside. I hope that's not my car. I'll wait. Okay. Anyways, more questions. It will stop. I trust. Um, I need to find a root of this energy that makes me want space. So, wanting space means that there is things in your energetic field or environment that you're just letting it sit there, right? So you have to ask yourself, space means that boundaries is what's coming up, but space is also vocalizing those boundaries to people around you in your household, in your home. Getting back to me no longer putting off things, and I want to do or places I want to go, doing it, going solo like I used to do. Going solo on a 12-night Alaskan cruise. That's amazing, Gail. That's really exciting. What a big shift. It's been beautiful to watch you shift since the quartz vortex and just working with you. That's amazing. I'm so grateful for you and just I can't wait to hear about it. Okay, other questions. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Teaching me respect, amazing. I always have a high energy for everyone, but sometimes my energy for myself is low. I'm so tired to do for me. Then I end up being stuck in guidance and needing it. Okay, so what this comes up for me is like, it's as simple as you prefer serving other people than yourself. And the answer to that is that that doesn't work. That's not how energetically we can, because we can't help out of an empty cup. So you really need to come back to your nose. And again, this Libra full moon is going to really test people on that. Okay, so beautiful questions. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so before I get into the rest of the cards that are coming in, I want to share a couple things for you guys. The first thing I want to share is that my June mentoring is open. So if you feel like you want to do healing, you want to do deeper work, I have all the information down below. I have 3 programs: Pachamama, Rebirth, Conscious Breakthrough. It's all down below. I meet every single person to make sure it's aligned. If that's something that resonates with you, you can apply to that. And then if someone wants to just get started, tip their toes into it, there's the Quartz Vortex as well. And then I also have my retreats that you can DM me on Instagram, Shika_Chica. And I can give you more information about the retreats or my email through my website. But I wanted to share that because I'm so excited for that. I've been getting more and more channel messages with this Libra full moon and in this Neptune is that we need light workers. We need committed light workers who are ready to step into this world. And it's really important because you, and a lot of you here on this channel, have had an awakening a few years. And I think it's safe to say because we've grown together, we've really shifted together, and if it's your first time here, we're growing now together. But all this to say is that we need people that are going to help the rest of the people who are going to be awakening, because there's a lot of people awakening, but times that by 100, it's going to be a lot more. So it's rippling into this new future that we're having. We're going to see parents that are going to be more gentle with their kids and really understanding and allowing them to lead in their own way. We're going to see relationships that are really big on deep emotional intelligence. We're going to see works like environments where people are allowed to really connect with their mental, emotional, energetic health. We're going to see, just deep shifts happening. And I really, really feel like right now is the time for that. So if that is something that you're interested in, if you're ready to commit to being a space holder, and I mean seriously ready to commit, like how much does being a space holder mean to you? Sitting with that before you apply to Pachamama or the rebirth program. And the rebirth's also great for people who want to do deep, deep, deep healing. Like I'm talking about like deep healing. I do shamanic arts, Akashic, past life, Reiki, plant medicine, breath, and various other medicines as well. That's something that you're interested in. That's 6 months of deep, 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 deep medicine. And then we have the conscious breakthrough, which is going to be a small amount of people, but that one is a 4 month. So that's great for anyone who just wants to get started and that depth. If you have any questions, let me know. But I just wanted to share that because I think right now is a really big time for people to really commit to this journey. What a time to live. What a time that we're getting to chat here. Like there's some of you in the UK, all different areas of the world. Let me know where you're watching, but we're all here having this conversation about what's happening with the energy that's affecting every single one of us, right? It's so powerful. Whew, okay. I want to read more here. So, doing a solo. Oh, that's amazing. I love how you guys are going on solo trips. I'm going on a solo one soon as well. I meditated today, realized that I as people please to respect. Yeah, we that's a big awakening, and I never placed them together. And the root is my mom, 100%. That's where it's seated. Always doing more for her than myself. And imagine how much she did for you more than herself too. So it was taught somewhere. Life path number 7. So most times I just want to be in my world. Hermit mode, I get that. But my mom feels the abandonment. So you really have to connect with her and really have a conversation and ask yourself, how can I have a new relationship with my mother? And I know that's hard because, for example, for me, I really didn't have an existing relationship for my mom a while because she was going through her own stuff. And one day when we finally just started visiting her, wouldn't even say anything. I wouldn't even talk about the arguments and anything. And one day, years later, she said, Shika, she was like, thank you for not giving up on our relationship, because I have a relationship with you the way that I wish I had a relationship with my mother. And that for me, not that I needed that, but that really brought that belief and that trust even deeper about this deep work, you know? Big ups, Jamaica. Woo woo. That's awesome. So many people from the Caribbean too, which is amazing. For those who don't know, my background's Caribbean. So yeah, island girl. But I admit that I can really neglect the physical world. Yeah, so zoning out and leaving and exploring, and that's probably why you isolate yourself, is because you want to avoid, right? Life path 7, yes, they are more to themselves and they're more hermit, but there is a boundary to that. We can't just stay in our comfort zone all the time. And this is another thing that's coming up with Libra, is that we are being called to get out of our comfort zone, because we got to trust the optimism that we had in Neptune in conjunction with Jupiter, right? Like we trust, this is what we're doing. The first bit of the week of the 13th going to the 20th, we're trusting. We get moved into the full moon, and it's like we're stepping into that even deeper, right? Helas, we're stepping into that even deeper. So going into Neptune in conjunction with Jupiter, then we go into the Libra full moon, and then we're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I just had a blue jay visit me when I talked about that. They're such beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. So yeah, just really talking about that. I'm just taking that in because blue jays are one of my favorite birds, and they just came by my window, looked at me, and flew away. What a magical moment. Nature is so beautiful. So I hope that resonates with you guys. Please let me know. This was such a good conversation. I'm going to wrap it up, but I'm happy you were here. I'm happy you were in this space. I hope that this helps you out. And I really hope that, again, if you feel the purpose to be a healer, to be a space holder, even if you don't know what that looks like, but you know that resonates in your body, then you can apply for my mentoring down below. And if you're ready to go deeper and heal, let go of the people pleasing, let go of the narcissistic relationships, let go of like living your life for other people, being authentic in your truth. If that those words vibrate in your body, applying to the program down below one-on-one with me. It starts in June and there's only a few spots left. So please reach out, and I'm here to support. So yeah, stay tuned. That is it. I loved hanging out with you guys. I love coming on here live. It's so much fun. I did Instagram live a bit and it was really cool. I hope those who are new, you really enjoyed being in the vibe with our family. Hope to see you more in the videos. I'm getting a whole bunch of videos set up because I'm just creating content. I'm going to be taking some time away for a bit, but I'm going to leave you guys with some content next month. So yeah, I just like wanted to come on here and just share, show up, big ups, come up. Um, and then, yeah, I love you all so much. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends. Remember to choose you, be optimistic this week. And again, if you want to learn more about the Libra full moon or the meditation, I posted that earlier for you guys. So you have your ritual all set up. I got you. So love you all so much. Have a beautiful rest of your week. And thanks for joining me on the Energy Update. Bye.